Dr. Seuss's ABC, an amazing alphabet book. Big A, little a. What begins with A? Aunt Annie's alligator. Ah, ah, ah. Big B, little b. What begins with B? Barber, baby bubbles, and a bumblebee. Big C, little c. What begins with C? Camel on the ceiling. K, k, k. Big D, little d. What begins with D? Donuts and a duck dog. D, d, d. Big E, little e. What begins with E? Ear, egg, elephant. Eh, eh, eh. Big F, little f. What begins with F? Four fluffy feathers on a fiff. Big G, little g. What begins with G? Goot and goo goo goggles. G, g, g. Little h, big H, little h. What begins with H? Hungry horse, hen and hat. Big I, little I. What begins with I? Itchy, Ichabod. Eh, eh, eh. Big J, little J. What begins with J? Jerry Jordan's jelly jar. J, j, j. Big K, little K. What begins with K? Kangaroo and kite. K, k, k. Big L, little L. What begins with L? Lion with a lollipop. Oh, oh, oh. Big M, little m. What begins with M? Mice in the moonlight. Mm, mm, mm. Big N, little n. What begins with those? Nine new neckties, nightshirt, nose. Big O, little o. What begins with O? Ostrich, oil, orange owl. Ah, ah, ah. Big P, little p. What begins with P? Painting some pajamas pink. Big Q, little q. What begins with Q? Quack, quack. The quick queen of Quincy and her quacking quackaroo. Big R, little r. What begins with R? Rosie's red rhinoceros. Er, er, er. Big S, little s. What begins with S? Sammy's sipping soda pop. S, s, s. Big T, little t. What begins with T? 10 tired turtles on a tuttle tree. Big U, little u. What begins with U? Uncle Ub's umbrella and his underwear too. Big V, little v. What begins with V? Vera Violet Finn and her violet violin. Big W, little w. What begins with W? Willie's in the wash tub washing Waldo Woo. Big X, little X, what begins with X? X-ray and xylophone. X, x, x. Big Y, little Y, what begins with Y? A yawning yellow yak with Yolanda on his back. Big Z, little Z, what begins with Z? A zizzer, zazzer, zuzz. As you can clearly see, the end. If you enjoyed this story, click on the subscription button so that you can get more notifications. Thank you.